Is the unnamed tavern named Unnamed Tavern? Is Unnamed Tavern named Unnamed Tavern, or is it a tavern that's not been named?
I know I've heard him regularly say "fuck China."
No, okay. Specifically, it's fuck the Chinese Communist Party. I have
Sorry, yes, specifically.
yeah, like I don't have any like ill will towards Chinese people generally. I would like to see the country of China be a prosperous, human rights respecting, free country. All of those things, but yeah, the Chinese Communist Party can go die in a fire. I have absolutely no positive things to say about the Chinese Communist Party. So yeah, I want to make that clear because
Yes.
I think there's a lot of really cool things about China. I really like
Yes.
China overall. So yeah.
So this
but yeah,
article
so-
says, quote, this is a night that belongs to Taiwan. We managed to keep Taiwan on the map of the world, Lai told thousands of jubilant supporters at a rally after his win. Quote, the election has shown the world the commitment of the Taiwanese people to democracy, which I hope China can understand, he added. China responded soon after the vote by saying Taiwan is part of China.
Yeah, so I guess maybe we should go through like the quick history of this, right?
Yes,
So
please.
China had for a very long time, as people probably know, an imperial system where there was an emperor of China and there were various dynasties. And then during, I don't remember exactly when, but that was overthrown and a democratic government was elected. They weren't what you would call terribly good. And during the 20th century, they were overthrown by a communist revolution. But the government that was the Republic of China fled to the island of Taiwan, where they set themselves up as a government in exile. Now, as far as I know, Taiwan no longer maintains any claims to sovereignty over mainland China. I think they've kind of given that up as far as I can
There's
tell.
a few wackos that do that, but mostly.
Yeah, sure. But it's also the reason why there was all this whole thing about like opening up diplomatic relations with China. Like, why was it a big deal that Nixon went to China to meet with the Chinese Communist Party government? And it's because all those previous treaties, all the previous diplomatic overtures and whatnot had been made with the government that was now in Taiwan. And it's also why like there was a question like, will Great Britain give back Hong Kong to mainland China? What if they give it back to the government in Taiwan, which is technically the government they negotiated that treaty with? Or if they just break the treaty since that government is no longer operating, and eventually, yeah, they decided to give it back to the mainland China. But for that entire time, the Chinese Communist Party, being the party that more or less won that revolution apart from the island of Taiwan, has said Taiwan is essentially just like rebel territory as far as we're concerned, right? We own it. We're not currently going in there and policing it, but it's part of our territory. And the entire time, Taiwan has been maintaining that it is not, in fact, part of mainland China, and essentially it operates as its own country today. However, it's not actually recognized as a state by any other country. And the big part of that is because all those countries want to maintain cordial relations with mainland China. And one of the quickest ways to get mainland China pissed off at you is to treat Taiwan like a country, which is one of the reasons why when the last president took a phone call from the president of Taiwan, the Chinese government was unhappy about that and complained about it. Now, I will say, taking a phone call from the president of Taiwan is one of the few things I think that president did. If it were up to me, if I were president of the United States, which I can't be because, actually, I guess I could be. I was
born by a
in the
dinosaur.
United
That's
States.
discrimination.
You were born in the United
Not like
States
a dinosaur.
before it was
Okay,
the
yeah, I
United
guess I can
States.
be.
Yeah,
I'm
go
definitely
for it.
old enough.
Yeah, that's discrimination.
Yeah, okay.
They don't
That
allow
is
you on the
permitted.
ballot.
That is permitted by the Constitution.
Hey guys, just like in Air Bud, there's no rule that says dinosaurs can't be president.
Yep.
Just
Right.
like when there's no rule that says dogs can't play basketball.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, maybe I'll run for president. But yeah, if I were president, I mean, one, that would be a really bad idea because I'd probably be a terrible president. But two, I would just recognize Taiwan. I am tired of everyone pussyfooting around the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah. Here's the fact, right? Everyone needs their cheap labor. Okay, great. They need foreign investment in their economy or it's going to collapse. Mm-hmm. They cannot afford to just go to war. And also, one of the other weird things is that this entire time, the United States has been pledging to, quote unquote, defend Taiwan from what, according to the official stance of the United States government, is its own government. Remember that.
Oh,
According to the
pretty
United
goofy.
States government, Taiwan
Yeah.
isn't a proper country, and the Chinese Communist Party is the proper government of all of China. And yet, the United States has said it will defend Taiwan if China, quote unquote, invades what, according to the same government, is their own territory. It's complete nonsense, and I wish we would stop.
If I may add to that, so the reason why internationally people are tiptoeing about around China about Taiwan stuff is because China also controls a lot of waterways, which are your
or at least they
trade
claim
routes.
to.
Yeah.
No. And
also
they're
have
planning
made-
to do more. Hold on.
Yeah.
They're planning to do more. They have started buying land on the shore on different countries. If I'm not wrong, Malaysia is one of them, and has started setting up ports there. So the biggest, I think so I've repeated this before, the biggest battle now is happening, who will control the waterways and the trade routes on those waterways. That's why,
Yeah,
because
I will
China
say-
has those resources, people are kind of
Also-
tiptoeing around it because it's also like an international thing happening. In the
Also, though, is if I got you on Badek, Landon. Also, though, if China can't, like what Dapper's saying, if China can't afford to go to war to defend that, it not like even if they do buy it all up, is it gonna matter in the long run? Sorry, go ahead, Landon.
So my opinion is that while there may be a one China policy, there also needs to be a one Taiwan policy. Moreover, if I were in the Senate or in the federal government, I would be pushing this, agitating for this particular position, even though I know it will piss off the Communist Party of China.
Oh, no.
I also, the other thing that I would also state is that there's an important language that's used, right? And the language is reunification. To use reunification with Taiwan is a fiction. The Communist Party of China has never, ever, ever ran Taiwan. Taiwan has never been a part of the CCP set. So there is no reunification, period, right? It's a fiction. And finally, I think we need to get much more serious about friends of Putin and countries that do business with Putin, including
India.
includes the Communist Party of China.
Don't look at me, go away.
And that this is something we need to do. So I think because we have this sort of a protection pact for Taiwan, I think the United States needs to step up and renounce its single one China policy to give Winnie the Pooh the diplomatic no, you can't do that, and to tell Emperor Pooh, sorry, there can be a one China policy, there can be a one Taiwan policy, and that nth century map you claim to be area is about as relevant as the map the Greeks had or the Romans had about the land they own.
It's somehow less relevant than Argentina's territorial claims in Antarctica, which is saying quite a lot.
There's a bit in here as well that says, following Taiwan's election results, a spokesperson for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said no matter, quote, whatever changes take place in Taiwan, the basic fact that there is only one China in the world and Taiwan is part of China will not change. The spokesperson continued, quote, the one China principle is the solid anchor for peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. We believe that the international community will continue to adhere to the one China principle and understand and support the Chinese people's just cause of opposing Taiwan's independence, separatist activities, and striving to achieve national reunification. So the thing is here is, like, we also know in the past years, China has had riots and protests of their own people in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong does not operate under the same rules as the rest of China. Hong Kong is specifically ruled has a different stuff. Sorry, go ahead, Dapper.
Yeah.
Which China does not like. I think how about we have a one China policy, but what we do with that is that we give mainland China to the Taiwanese government, back to the Taiwanese government, because that government did in fact used to rule China, and so reunification really could only happen in the sense that the Taiwanese president becomes the president of mainland China.
How about you step down now? How about you step down and let the real people do the job?
But practically speaking, you have the Communist Party of China and their dictatorship and their dictator and a cult of personality, and you have Taiwan. And the interests are usually focused on Taiwan and protecting the sovereignty of Taiwan, which has never been unified with the Communist Party of China. Now, by the way, one of the things that happens with this stuff that the Communist Party of China tries to assert, it has the gall, it has the temerity to try to assert its rights in other foreign countries. I said to you, for example, the incident regarding the piano man at in a train station in London, and the clash that came about
I saw that.
from that with Shields there. I don't know. Chesh, I put in a link regarding this thing into.
I saw that one.
And the other thing is, I'm going to give you a link to the actual incident, because he was actually he's a guy that goes to this piano. A piano was donated by Elton John to the train station for the purpose of allowing the public to play it. That's its purpose, right? And he was there doing his shtick, playing his boogie woogie type stuff, when basically a group of people that appear to be associated with the Communist Party of China came up and essentially sort of said, let's put it. You could check out the video and decide for yourself what happens.
I've seen that one. I think so. There are several factors in there. One, they were in a public space, so I don't know what they were expecting, right? Two, they could have simply requested the guy to say, "Can you keep us out of the frame?" or "What can we do that we are out of the frame and we are not in the background?" They could have worked with the guy and his cameraman, but they decided, like, "No, you're not going to record." But I haven't seen the whole thing. I would like to watch the whole thing before I jump to conclusions. I haven't.
And I will put in there, by the way, that what the 50th Cent Army and the Chinese Communist Party tried to do was to get this video taken down, and so the Streisand effect is in play. So there is the link. There's the actual. So I put it on this on our private chat. If you can put it into the public, I encourage people to watch this. Right, it's unedited, cut there. And the thing that I was verified by a barrister that I know is it is legal for you in a public space to record and take pictures. Right. You
That's what I was saying. They could have worked together.
But this is the problem with the Communist Party of China asserting its rights and then playing games saying, well, you're racist and blah, blah, blah. Right? This is an example of what the Communist Party of China is doing that I think needs to be curtailed.
As a rule of thumb, if there's something that the Chinese Communist Party would rather I not do, that is a good reason for me to do that thing.
Can I also point out something before we move off of this topic? And it's that the person that was being the spokesperson for China was their foreign affairs minister.
Yes.
So that's kind of telling, don't you think? The person that
like an actual member of the government.
The people that are explaining and talking about Taiwan's elections is China's foreign affairs minister.
Well, to be fair, it is a statement that was made to foreign countries.
Oh yeah,
I stand by my criticism.